With the second wave of COVID-19 in Victoria well and truly underway and the lockdown about to begin in full swing, friend of the show, Georgia Love, took to Twitter yesterday to voice her concerns. She said there's got to be a point where the mental health impacts are weighed up against the health impacts of COVID-19. Well, she was met with an array of responses and not all were positive. In another tweet, she said, "The fact I've received unprecedented hate, including death threats, for bringing up the topic of mental health is, despite everything, the most disturbing part of today. We have such a huge way to go. I'm going to sleep very disheartened tonight. I hope everyone else is going okay." We approached Georgia this morning, and in a statement to the Ben Robin Robbo show, she says, "I would just like to reiterate that I'm not suggesting one is worse than the other, but I think we need to be talking about the figures from mental health losses during this too. Many businesses won't recover from this, and I think that kind of thing will have a long-term health impact in terms of depression and suicide, and nobody is talking about that." Robbo, her tweet was said to be irresponsible and inappropriate by some. Do you think she has a point, though?
She absolutely has a point. The people who were challenging her are being irresponsible. She brings up a wonderful, important point. I think maybe a month and a half ago, we talked about it on this show, where there's going to be a wave of mental health issues. There's going to be, unfortunately and tragically, a wave of suicides because directly resulted to the pandemic. What she said was absolutely correct. Again, all we're seeing is the trolls. I was about to say Shrek, but Shrek's got a heart. He's a troll, but all of these other ones are trolls. They are awful. And this is a big thing. Hey, everyone, think outside the square for a minute. You know what I mean? So if you've been put out of work by COVID-19, if your parents have been put out, whatever, it's really bloody tough. So yes, we're saying that there's been these examples of going, our great-grandfathers had to go to war, go into trenches, that stuff. We're being asked to stay on the couch. Yes, to a point, that's correct. However, some people can't afford to stay on the couch, both from reasons and mental health reasons. I think Georgia Love was right on the money here, right on the mark, and anyone else who challenged that is just awful. People even made fun of the fact that her mother had died.
Yeah, well, that's just beyond the pale. That's just beyond the pale. Doesn't mean you can't challenge her viewpoint, though. Like when we're dealing with a health epidemic, to suggest that we shouldn't be closing down, or, to have an inference that we shouldn't be closing down, things like that can be challenged. Although she's right that mental health does need to be considered, but that's what our governments need to do.
It's the Ben Robin Robbo, Ben Robin Robbo Show.